Hello and welcome to another edition of Hey Whatever Happened To. It's the segment that we do on Pop Trigger where we take a member of the pop consciousness that has perhaps faded away and we say, hey, whatever happened to that person? It's my turn to present this week. I'm going to be telling you whatever happened to Mischa Barton, who was my childhood crush. She played Marissa Cooper on The OC. You will remember her from her 2004-2006 meteoric rise to stardom. That's a more recent photo of her, and I'm getting my information from E! Online, who actually compiled a list of the rise and fall of Mischa Barton, a timeline. Some of this I had sort of paid attention to, but some of this I really wasn't sure what she was up to these days. So she was this huge star. The OC was huge. That first season, I watch it actually probably once every 2 years. I'll just rewatch the first season of The OC. She had this on-camera presence, personality. She was sort of the girl next door with like a dark side. I also loved her in The Sixth Sense. She at once was very creepy and scary, but she was also very like heart-wrenching. The story of this girl who was just trying to get the truth out there. I feel better now. So that's maybe how you remember her. Now, in 2007, she was arrested for a DUI, and she was given a 36-month probation, alcohol education classes, and a fine. As part of a plea deal, she spoke to Ryan Seacrest about it, saying that this was a dark spot in her life and that she had learned from it. She was embarrassed and she's going to come back. And she became, sort of around this time, a tabloid favorite. So in tandem with the show picking up success around 2008, especially after she had left the show, her character was killed off, and I will never forgive them for that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Someone's like, oh man, I was just starting season 3. What? Yeah, she gets super killed off. You guys, that's on every sort of Watch Mojo list.
Ruined the show, man.
But she becomes a tabloid favorite. She starts attracting paparazzi. This is sort of around the Lindsay Lohan time, Nicole Richie. They were all like tabloid fodder for wherever club they were going to. And then she was announced as a sex symbol. She made the cover of Maxim in 2008 as well. They declared that she was taking on the big screen. But that never really happened. That sort of transition into becoming a big screen movie actress never took up. She did try and make a TV return in 2009 as a part of Ashton Kutcher's drama The Beautiful Life, which was about the world of models. And I always thought she looked like a runway model because she always seemed really tall and sort of lanky, and she had a very angular, beautiful face.
Name is Mischa.
Mischa is such a model name. Yeah. Swiftly following that, though, the show didn't really take off, and then she was hospitalized in 2009, and she was put in a psych ward in July. She kind of remains mum on the reason behind that, and then apparently she was admitted for suicidal actions, but then when she appeared on The View later that year in 2009, she said that it was actually for a tooth infection, and this is a quote from her about that time in the hospital. When they take you in the hospital for something, when it goes really wrong, if you're having a meltdown and you say something like, I feel like I want to die, they start injecting you with things to calm down. She said, I'm petrified of needles, like absolutely petrified. I just figure that if you hit rock bottom like that and you're around people, you realize I'm nothing like these people. I have a career, I worked so hard for it. I'm such a positive person. I think you can overcome anything. And for me, having that kind of chronic pain for the first time in my life, like being in serious pain, was such a wake-up call. So it's like already kind of weird statements, but whatever. She's still an incredibly talented actress. But I think that the paparazzi sort of following her and becoming this like tabloid person sort of colored people in casting decisions with regards to, remember, they have to take out insurance when they are casting a project, and a lot of people were saying that she was too much of a liability to cast, and that's like really unfortunate that was following her around. She had a guest spot in Law & Order in 2010, and I feel like that's sort of indicative of where the career trajectory was sort of going. She released a brand of fashion in 2012. It no longer exists, though at the time she opened a boutique in London, which is, she's from England. And then she sued her mom in 2015. She sued her mom and her former manager for breach of an oral contract and fraudulent misrepresentations. That's pretty serious, claiming that she had lied about the amount of money the actress was being paid for a 2013 film and pocketed the difference. And then this is where I remember Mischa Barton sort of re-emerging into the public eye, was when she did a turn on Dancing with the Stars in 2016, and she was the second celebrity contestant to be eliminated. I kind of thought she would be a great dancer because I remember scenes again from the OC where they were dancing at parties, and I just assumed that was all always on beat, and certainly not edited. But she really didn't enjoy her time on the show, and the fans didn't really like her on the show, and her dancer that she was paired with didn't like her. It was kind of an awkward altogether. She said of the situation, "Ugh, I had no idea it would be so bad. I got told off by my dancer. I was supposed to control the costumes. I was told that I could do the design aspect of it. That's kind of the reason why I agreed to do it. That didn't happen. It wasn't collaborative like a choreographer on a film set. I was so confused by it. It was like the Hunger Games. It was all a popularity contest. It was awful. I'm so glad to get kicked off." Which is pretty rough. And then in 2007, and this is sort of the dark turn where unfortunately we're gonna have to leave you, she was back in the hospital after a neighbor called 911 reporting that she was behaving erratically. This is January of 2007. Now in March of 2017, she is back in the news for a revenge porn case. She had a press conference with her lawyer. Barton has confirmed that an ex had filmed an explicit video of her without her consent and that the images were being shopped around. This is her quote about that. She said, "I came forward to fight this not only for myself, but for all the women out there. I want to protect them from the pain and humiliation that I have had to go through. No woman should have to go through this, and I'm beyond grateful to Lisa Bloom, the Bloom firm, and to all my friends who have helped me through this horrific experience. It's a very hard thing to do, but I'm glad I'm finally standing up for myself." So as of March 2017, that's sort of where we leave her. I wish that I could have gone through this and have found more upcoming film roles or design or something, but I remember watching an interview with her and Fern Cotton where she seemed super like out of touch and oddly kind of paranoid. I remember her like pointing out to where the paparazzi were, and remember she was a young child actor and how that sort of shaped her perception of the world.
It's really tragic. A lot of young child actors, what they go through and the way that they're abused by this industry. Not just by individuals, just like the industry in general and how they're treated. And by the time they're adults, they're not like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm. Were you surprised to hear about some of the things like since you've last heard of her? Because you said that she was a childhood crush of yours as well.
No, I remember all these things happening, and then like I grew up too. I like got out of my OC phase.
Yeah.
But like listening to all this, like she's had a really rough life, and like she had a lot of potential going for her, but it just sounds like the usual mix of older people taking advantage of you because you're like a young rising star and you're pretty, and obviously drugs and alcohol play a part in it, and like living that lifestyle. Like I whenever, like I don't go out that often, but like if I do go to a club, I see young people there, and like the lifestyle that they're trying to like pursue there, going out and drinking. And this is like what a lot of these young up and coming actors are doing. And like if you do that after a couple of years, man, you're gonna be so burned out.
I think it just speaks to, the industry and how quickly they are to, like just consume you, everything, and then just spit you out, and without a thought for whatever happened to them. But that's whatever happened to Mischa Barton. Sorry, this was kind of a downer.